Would everybody please rise and remove your hats if you're wearing them for the presentation of the colors by the Marine Junior ROTC Color Guard. And the national anthem tonight will be played by the Kellogg Band under the direction of Mr. Adam Green and Student Director Isabella Ross. Color Guard tonight is Cadet Staff Sergeant Zoe Lawson, Cadet Sergeant Brooklyn Johnson, Cadet Sergeant Joshua Salvador, and Cadet Corporal Maniacs Mad Dog Harris.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Simon Miller, and we are live at not Andrews. We're at Teeters.
I mean a relative, cousin of.
We're at Teeters Field tonight, where your Kellogg Wildcats are taking on the visiting Orofino Maniacs. Right now, we're going to take you down to the field where our Kellogg High School Marine Corps JROTC Color Guard is presenting the colors along with the Kellogg High School Pep Band performing the national anthem. The colors tonight are being presented by Cadet Staff Sergeant Zoe Lawson, Cadet Sergeant Brooklyn Johnson, Cadet Sergeant Joshua Salvador, and Cadet Corporal Maddox Mad Dog Harris. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald, Simon Miller, Buckco. We'll be joined in a moment by Uncle Pete Miller. We are Wildcats Live, and we are coming to you live from Teeters Field in Kellogg, Idaho. It's kind of cold tonight, Simon.
We've had a 2-week break.
It is
Mother Nature has had some time.
There's a bit of a chill in the air.
Give us a little treat.
It feels more like winter than it did the last time we were up here. Wildcats hosting the Orofino Maniacs in basically a do-or-die game.
I mean, it's CIL, get off the schneid. I mean, neither team has a win, right?
Neither team has a win. And with this CIL being 4 teams plus an independent, Priest River, who I believe is playing a
JV schedule or however that works.
Some sort of hybrid schedule this year.
We'll just kind of leave it at that.
The Wildcats are basically in a position where, with the loss last week at St. Mary's, they have to win tonight and then in a few weeks against Grangeville if they are going to continue the Wildcat string of postseason appearances.
Absolutely.
Wildcats come in after a devastating loss a week ago down in St. Mary's.
I mean, there's so many things, Josh. There, so many moving parts, and
the Wildcats went into halftime in that game leading 18-16.
Yes, and we're watching from volleyball, going, "How is this scoreagami? What's happening?"
Yeah, it was.
We got food delivery coming in, Josh, as we speak.
Uncle Pete was.
We got Uncle Pete Miller. He is bringing it in here as we bring the. But go ahead, Josh. St. Mary's game. I'm watching it from the volleyball game, going, how are these scores possible?
Yeah, the Wildcats came out flat. They gave up a bunch of rushing yards early, and then in the second quarter they kind of turned it around. Next thing you know, they go on an 18-0 run in the second quarter. They take a lead, and then right before halftime, we force a turnover on downs, and then
Can we give it right back?
we
fumble.
We had a safety.
Oh, we snapped it over. We went shotgun from our 1 yard line.
Shotgun. We went shotgun
I'm not
from.
supposed to be too critical here.
We went shotgun from inside the 10. Bad snap. Recovered in the end zone. Safety. So we kick off. They had an opportunity to score. I think in the 15 seconds left, we forced a 4 and out. So we had the ball again. And then in the second half, we come out and defensively we were there. We force several turnover on downs. We force a really big 4 and out. St. Mary's had driven inside the 20, and on the first play of the next drive, we fumble the ball. They turn around and hand the ball off to their human tank, Trey Gibson, who, he had 4 rushing touchdowns and 391 rushing yards.
Wait, don't sell him short.
Yeah.
Did he not set a state record?
He set every record.
I mean, Wildcat fans.
It was horrifying.
This is not what we want to talk about.
And I'll tell you, it wasn't for a lack of trying to tackle him. This is 6'1" and
he was a man on a mission.
6'1" and 235 pounds of downhill runner that the Wildcats were just bouncing off of like flies. It was not good. But they had figured out a way. They were chopping him down low. They were doing what they needed to do, and we just couldn't stop him. And we ended up down 2 scores. Well, then we drive deep into the St. Mary's territory. We get 3rd and goal from inside the 1 yard line, and we take a snap out of the shotgun instead of just following the Philadelphia Eagles lead and getting behind our line and falling in the end zone. We go spread, pick up a penalty. So now it's 3rd and goal from the other side of the 10. Just a comedy of errors.
Was that an illegal block in the back? I rewatched that. And it looked like a touchdown, but it wasn't. What happened on the edge?
It was an illegal block in the back. Drayden Taylor, who played a really good game, caught 2 touchdown passes. He saved Reed Watcott's life, is what he did. Reed Watcott going into the end zone. 3 guys kind of breaking down on him, and Drayden just threw a guy out of the way. So I think at the end of the day, you have to, protect your quarterback.
For sure. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
And so we didn't score there, and that's where the score ended up being.
Was that about 4 minutes? That was like 4 minutes, and we were moving.
Yep, we turned the ball over.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Kellogg High School, or Kellogg Andrew, or
yeah, you're doing the same thing I am.
I almost cussed too.
We're at Teeters Field.
We're at Teeters. I'm trying to transition here. I got Buck running production, and we've got a special guest here tonight, and a special guest here with a connection to St. Mary's football program. I mean, a lot of emotions here tonight, Josh. I mean,
yeah.
St. Mary's is a rival of us, but our hearts are heavy. Coach Teft meant a lot to us. This guy worked with Coach Teft. I'm going to turn my headset over to Coach Shannon Pooler, who I have to say, as the introductions are done, if he would have included me on the Warriors when I was a 6th grader instead of shoving me to the Sharks as an expansion team, I probably would have enjoyed football more, but I still love him. Love him like a brother.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to bring Shannon Pooler on here, and hopefully we got Brian Chase and a couple people from St. Mary's watching too. Yep. Shannon, join this merry group, and you guys take it away.
Yeah, and I'll kind of preface this. Earlier this week, we lost Coach Craig Teft. He was very much beloved by the North Idaho sports community for his work as a football coach, his work as a teacher, his work as an official. I refereed some basketball games with him. He refereed some of my basketball games as a coach. I watched him coach. He was always the first person to be very kind to you, and always a sly remark to make you laugh. He was just a great guy. And I think the impact of losing him has been felt all over the Panhandle for sure. And Coach Pooler actually had the opportunity to coach with him during a pretty magical run to a state championship a few years ago. So we're going to let Coach Pooler kind of talk about his friend and really all of our friends, Coach Teft.
All right, thanks, Josh. I really appreciate the opportunity here by you and Simon and Pete Miller. Yeah, we lost a good one this week.
Yeah.
There's a saying out there, a good coach can change a game. A great coach can change a life. And that's what Coach Teft did.
Yeah.
Just a great man. It's been a pretty rough couple days, Josh, to be honest with you and stuff like that. But, you know, he was just so good at what he did in bringing out the best in people. Mm-hmm. Kids, coaches, administration, teachers, and stuff like that. Yeah, he was a good one. And, boy, I miss him. I really miss him. So his funeral is going to be next Saturday, the 30th, in St. Mary's at the Nazarene Church at 11 a.m. They're expecting a huge turnout.
Oh, I can imagine.
And, yeah, it's affected a lot of coaches in North Idaho, believe me.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of conversations with coaches and stuff, and he's really going to be missed.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon, this is Pete Miller, by the way.
Yes.
Shannon, thanks so much for coming up here because I had the opportunity. Here's the kickoff. Here we go.
Oh, McDonald has a corner, has an edge.
He's going to score.
He's going to score. He's going to take this one to the house. And there's no shortage of pride up here. I got to admit, as the son, the father of the guy who just returned that.
That is so awesome. Congratulations, Dad.
A 75-yard kick return touchdown. And the Wildcats strike first and strike quick.
All right. We are giddy up here.
I am.
But here's the dichotomy. We're talking about the loss of a precious coach that has affected hundreds, right, Shannon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hundreds of children.
Absolutely. He, when we started this journey, 15 years ago and stuff like that, and a lot of credit has to go to Coach Hall, who was the coach at the time, the head coach at the time, and because of work circumstances, he couldn't stay on as head coach, so he turned it over to Coach Teft. And, you know, believe me, when we first started, it was pretty rough, but you know, Coach Teft got things going and stuff like that. He was a master recruiter at getting kids to come in and play football, lift weights, do the things that they were supposed to do and stuff like that. And it really paid off. And like, you know, Simon was saying earlier in 2016, we won it all and stuff. So.
And tell us a little bit about that run. You know, I know from a Kellogg perspective, we've watched St. Mary's win 2 state championships, one in football, one in basketball, and I think we've both times that it's happened, the Kellogg sports community has been so excited. I mean, we get on the floor with these guys, and when it's between the lines, there's no love lost.
No.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as it's over,
it's
high fives, hugs, handshakes.
Yeah.
The communities are very tight knit. Let's talk about that run to the state championship in 2016.
Yeah. Well, first off, Josh, I'd like to say the outpouring of prayers, concern, what can we do from the people from the town of Kellogg, what can we do to help, you know, the people of St. Mary's to get through this tough time and stuff like that. So as you said earlier too, we are rivals and stuff like that, but there's a mutual respect.
Yes.
You know, you coach and stuff, you know, it's a battle. It's a battle all the time and stuff. But at the end of the day, we respect one another, and that
Yes.
and that's what's great about high school sports.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Kickoff from the Wildcats goes out of bounds. Orofino's going to take over, I believe, at the 35-yard line. That run, I mean, you guys got to play the championship game down in the Kibbe Dome, if my memory serves, right?
yes. No, that was actually we actually had to go to Pocatello.
Right,
two weekends in a row. We
Right.
we played Bear Lake in the semifinals.
Thanks for beating those guys.
Yeah.
Kellogg fans are about tired of losing to them.
Yeah, it was a tough game.
And then-
but,
So that's Pocatello?
That's Holt
do they have
Arena.
a-
Holt Arena, yes.
Indoors, right?
Yeah,
I've been there. I watched. Yeah,
So
I've seen.
Oh, man, Tom O'Neill, immediate penetration there. And
That
he's going to
is some-
tackle for a loss.
yeah, but we had to travel to Pocatello two weeks in a row.
Wow.
To play Bear Lake in the semis. We beat them 21-14, and I'll tell you what, man, that was a tough game. They had a great team.
Yeah.
And then in the championship game, we played Declo,
Oh, the Hornets.
the Hornets, yes.
Yes.
And they had a running back by the name of Keegan Bratley that he was so fast he would make a deer look slow. I mean, my God.
Gosh, I can remember watching that game, and it was almost like if you guys didn't get the containment, kind of like what the Wildcats just did right there. If you didn't get that containment, he was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might notice they're lined up in a wishbone.
Yeah, there's a lot of misdirection. Orofino actually tragically lost their starting quarterback
Right.
in a car accident right before the school year started.
Right.
So there's a very good chance that this could be a relatively new offense because the quarterback situation changed kind of suddenly.
Nice contained by Jacob there.
So
Nice tackle.
So it sucks. I got the text message on Tuesday afternoon from Coach Mike Martin, Kellogg High School varsity basketball coach. He's been an official. He's a football official right now, and he was a longtime basketball official. And literally the text message said, "Hey, Coach Teft died today," and a thumbs down emoji.
Yeah.
Because
All right, we got to jump there.
it looked like the whole
So-
left side of the line jumped there.
All right, well, the good thing about it is it's not going to be an automatic first down. It should be still fourth, but it's going to be 4th and 1 or 2. So we'll see what Orofino chooses to do here. Looks like they are keeping the punt team in, and they're going to punt it. Yeah, it's about 4th and 3.
And they got kind of, it looks like a
3,
little bit of
4.
a longer. I think that first one was kind of a shallower punt formation. And it
Short
looks like
kick.
short kick here. That's Wyatt Story.
Oh.
And it looks like he just lost his legs there. So Wildcats going to take over, looks like, at the 41-yard line, 40-yard line. So, I got that text message about Coach Teft, and instantly just my heart just sunk. We had just been in St. Mary's the week before. And I'll just the impact. So, I'm talking to my son who plays for Kellogg. He was playing on the field in St. Mary's. And I was talking to him, asking him how he was doing because they had talked to him about it. And he's like, yeah, he had drawn a T on his face in eye black before the St. Mary's game in honor of Coach Teft. He's gotten to know the... Oh, Coleman Blaylock,
There
right,
we go.
right up the right
Blaylock,
side.
Score.
Wildcats have had, it looks like, 2 offensive plays, a kick return and a long strike up the side there.
So Buck, can we get a replay on that?
We're going to take a look at a replay here.
Yeah, look. So they have the man in motion, comes all the way across, wheel route up the sideline, wide open. Beautiful.
Blaylock is
Beautiful.
kind of a big play machine. He's one of the few Wildcats that's not afraid to catch the ball, even if he knows he's about to get smacked on a hit, which at the high school level can be kind of a challenge, finding guys who are willing to know that they're about to get thumped and still make the catch. Last week, and last week's game against St. Mary's very much felt like the heavyweight kind of brawl that it was. I mean, St. Mary's pulled away in the fourth quarter and won it, but through 3 quarters, it was anyone's ball game. It was the kind of faster style air raid offense from the Wildcats. St. Mary's grinding the ball, which Uncle Pete knows isn't always my style. But when you're watching a kid like Trey Gibson grind for almost 400 yards,
Yeah.
it's fun to watch.
It really is. I feel like it's an incredible event. Only we need to do that.
Yeah.
But Josh, how was that for you? Were you watching it live?
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Oh, you were there.
I was there.
Okay.
I was there. Before the game, they read a letter from Coach Teft to his son, who's on the team. And instantly you kind of felt the mood in the arena there kind of shift. And then to know that these teams, I mean, every single one of these players, whether they've been coached by Coach Teft or they've been in a basketball game or something that he's officiated, I can tell that there's been times where I've gotten heated on a basketball court and he's come over and, hey, Coach, chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
You're right. I missed it. My bad.
Or there's balls on the ground. Kellogg says they have it.
Or he'll let me know.
Let's see if he was down or not.
Looks like a fumble on the kickoff. This would just be for Orofino to make the 5-hour drive and find themselves down 2 scores in the first 2.5 minutes. It's got to be kind of a tough sell if you are head coach. I'm looking for the coach's name here. Looks like Jake Mechie. That's a tough trip to make, and this is a Wildcats team that I feel is definitely better than their 0-4 record might suggest. They've done some things. They scheduled themselves tough. Moscow is a much better team this year than they were a year ago. North Fremont looks to be. Oh, there's a nice. Oh gosh,
good contain.
Good contain. That was a great play.
That was Tom O'Neill again.
Yeah,
he's on it.
If the running back had just kind of turned up field there, he might have been able to pick up 3 or 4 yards. But the Wildcats play North Fremont. North Fremont, I think, is still currently ranked number 1 in the state, and for obvious reasons. We saw that. That was clinical, surgical, the way that they kind of carved the Wildcats up 2 weeks ago.
Well, we learned a lot about them from the comments.
Yeah.
On our.
Oh yeah.
That we receive in here.
Yeah,
it was really educational.
We learned that they're very much a big boy, rumbling, stumbling, and a ball. I thought the ball got knocked out there, but that must be some sort of halfback. That's our fullback.
Right, here's a replay on that.
Big kid, number 24
Buck.
for the Maniacs. That's John Wicks on the carry. It's a 6 foot, 180-pound junior. Big boy, rumbling, stumbling for a first down. But then the Wildcats go on the road. They go up to Newport, and actually they play Newport pretty well. They went into halftime, or they looked to go into halftime with a lead, but then gave up a long touchdown right before the half, and then they had to kick the ball off. Looks like we're going to get a sack here. That's McDonald on the sack, and that's going to be a sack. Loss probably about 10 yards on the play. And McDonald and O'Neill are kind of feasting on these ends right now.
Well, that was a quarterback keep. He had 2 running backs blocking ahead of him. We kept contained, and nice tackle.
They really, and that's
by McDonald.
The thing the Wildcats have going for them is they're fast. Like, we might not be very big. We have the speed. If we could just, turn that into a couple, 6 foot, 200 pounders that were that quick, it'd probably be a big deal for us. But that's not the case here. I couldn't see who had the ball. Quarterback keeper there. McDonald misses a tackle here, kind of Supermaned out trying to get that one. Quarterback Aiden Olive is going to pick up about 8 on that. He rolled out to pass. I think there were about 3 fakes there. I was trying to figure out which one had the ball. But Wildcats bring him down. 3rd and about 12 here, right at the 50-yard line. Wildcats have another opportunity to take over with really good field position. So we go to Newport, come up short, didn't score in the second half. Final score, I believe, was 30-12 in a game that was a lot closer. A lot of misdirections here from these Maniacs, and it's given the Wildcats a little bit of fits. Then last week, the St. Mary's that's always going to be a game. I mean, even last year, if my memory serves, the Lumberjacks came to town and took a lead at halftime last week, and it wasn't until the start of the second half where the Wildcats got the ball, scored, and then forced a turnover that they were able to generate the kind of cushion that forced St. Mary's out of that kind of grindy style running offense. Oh, and there's going to be another carry there. That's Wicks. And the Wildcats tackling woes right up the middle. I mean, if anyone has watched film on the Wildcats, knows they're susceptible up
Coach,
the middle.
what do you think about that offense? That's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
How number 5 lines up facing the quarterbacks in the slot, and then he goes in motion. That's quite interesting. There's a lot of misdirection and deception on this offense.
Right, and they're using motion really
Okay,
well.
we got
too.
some good penetration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Shannon.
No, you're good. No, they're using motion really well, but there's some concepts there too where they're using some old crossbuck action.
Yes.
And stuff like that, which is really old school football. But man, it works. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
because the linebackers are chasing the fake man and stuff like that, and then coming back on the opposite side.
and the fakes are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what the linebackers have to do is instead of reading the running backs, which is a normal read, they've got to read the blocks, right?
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
O'Neal on another tackle there.
And it has some option concepts too, which they should. They're probably making calls on the offensive line, in and out calls and stuff, according to alignment and stuff like that.
So here we bring up a 3rd and about 6 for the Maniacs here. Wildcats have struggled on 3rd down on this drive. After taking a quick 14-0 lead, Orofino has kind of settled into their offense.
Okay,
And
that is okay. So
little sweep.
number 5 in motion. Remember, we were talking about that. He came across, and there's a jet sweep with number 5.
Right.
Tackle by Tom O'Neal. 4th and about 4. Now, if I'm the Wildcats, I'm watching the ball, making sure I don't get conned into biting on another hard count here.
Have these guys thrown the ball yet?
They dropped back for one pass play, and then the quarterback kept it.
Correct. Yeah.
So
All right.
they haven't thrown yet, but they have run a play designed to throw that did not necessarily work out for him. Although I guess Olive on the QB carry picked up about 8 yards. So they're going to hand it off to the big fullback again, and
Ball
he's
on the
going
ground.
to get stopped. So
All
whether
right,
fumble,
Kellogg ball.
yeah, whether it was a fumble or a tackle, there it's going to be
Looked
Wildcat
like a
ball.
counter, didn't it, Shannon?
Yeah, yeah.
So 24 came across.
Right.
I think they had I don't know if they had a trap blocker or not.
I believe that was Ethan Spencer on the tackle or forced fumble recovery. But Wildcats take over, and Reed Watcott's got about the whole field to work with. And we haven't had a chance to really talk about Reed yet this game. Reed, I thought, played his best game of the year last year. I mean, he was distributing
Nice.
the ball really well.
Oh, I love that.
Andrew Lewis up the side here. He's going to get brought down after a gain of about 2. And this is the danger of taking these snaps, these handoffs out of the shotgun. You know, you feel like you've gained this.
Buck has a replay for us here.
this huge
Look at
gain.
that counter. Nice.
You feel
like
like
that.
you feel like you've got this big gain, but after it's all said and done, you've only picked up 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. It's difficult to run, I think, out of the shotgun sometimes unless you have some sort of really, really fast running back. Watcott going to drop back to throw. He's got, looks like, it was Blake Coburn up the right side, almost
Yeah,
intercepted.
nicely defended by number 11.
That's Aiden Olive. He's moonlighting as a defensive back. He's usually the quarterback for the Maniac offense. Wildcats in a 3rd and long here. So let's see what the Wildcats elect to do. You know, last week there was a little bit of criticism from just a lack of creativity with the Wildcats offense. I thought Watcott did the most to, get guys the ball, but running it felt like the same 3 plays. Watcott steps up, fires one over the top.
He's open.
This is Coburn. Coburn tried to catch it with one hand, almost
Yeah.
like he turned and kind of lost the ball there. I don't know why.
I don't know what he did, but you got to
get 2 hands on the ball.
2 hands on the ball.
I think he's wide open, maybe make the one-handed grab, all sorts of grass in front of him.
So what do you? This defense that they're running, they have two D line. They have the ends are standing up. So is that a non-traditional 4-2? What they're running against us?
Yeah, it is a non-traditional 4-2 and stuff like that. What they're trying to do with the stand-up defensive ends and stuff is get penetration keep that outside hand free and rip with the inside hand and then get to the quarterback.
Decent snap from O'Neal. McDonald's punt goes end over end and is bobbled. That's a live ball, but I believe it was covered. That's Jake Scott on the recovery
Buck's
for the
got a
Maniacs.
replay for us here. It's not working, huh, Buck?
Not a great punt there
It's processing right here.
from McDonald, but enough to kind of flip the field a little bit. Maniacs starting on the other side of the 50-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 45. And, 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter that, the first 2.5 minutes were all Wildcat, obviously, and then the Maniacs really chewed up a bunch of clock there with that drive before it stalled out. Yeah. So now the Wildcats kind of watching this, and a little pass. That's intercepted there. And I believe that for the Wildcats, Williams, Tanner Williams on the interception. Kind of a weird little Tim Tebow-esque jump pass.
It was a pop pass.
Yeah.
Right,
right to the wrong guy.
Linebackers had not even dropped. And
Yeah.
so it didn't work.
It almost felt like the Wildcats
Nice
weren't
defense.
biting on any of the misdirection there. And just like, let's see what happens.
Is that
here.
good or bad? Well, it worked out okay this time.
Come out flat-footed. Wildcats now, we got running backs, or McDonald in at running back. That's unusual. Pitch outside. That's McDonald. Gets a block. Going to go up for about 10 yards there.
Nice run.
That was a nice pitch by Reed Walcott.
Block, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On the previous play there, Josh.
Here's the replay.
I just want to mention that, obviously they've done some film study on that, and they were very well prepared for that, and that's the way they got the pick.
Wildcats now going more with their traditional spread set here. Trying to see, they got Drayden Taylor, Jager Hall. We haven't called Jager Hall's name yet tonight. Hall. Oh, Walcott, pocket collapses, trying to get some yards. And right there, kind of missed blocking assignments from the Wildcats. Rito takes the sack, brings up 3rd and 6 here. And I think anything on this side of the 50 for the Wildcats is 4-down territory. Some struggling here getting the signal in. There's a lot of space out to Walcott's right.
That's decent communication. That's
Walcott, Blaylock picks up the fumbled snap. He might get the first. Nope, he's going to get back to the 35-yard line. What happened there? That was kind of weird. That the snap almost looked like they realized they weren't supposed to snap it, so they tried to stop it. And,
who hit the ball from the center? I don't even get that.
I don't know if it got hit or if he just realized, nuts, got him.
First down.
Wildcats with that hard count that Reed Walcott has done so well.
Has he been doing that?
He's been doing it a lot lately.
Really? That's great.
He got the Lumberjacks a couple times last week on it. And, there was, in some moments where it felt like if the Wildcats didn't pick up that first down, they were going to hand the ball back over to the Lumberjacks and Trey Gibson. Here's McDonald on the carry, and he's going to break out for about 10, 12 yards on the carry. And McDonald, I'm his parent. I've watched him play. He's been a running back for the bulk of his football career. But playing in Kellogg, a predominantly pass first offense, he tried to transition out to receiver so that he could, be a playmaker within the style that they play. Oh, Walcott hit as he throws, and it looks like it might have been a fumble. If it was a fumble, McDonald is on top of it. And Wildcat's going to be backed up a little bit. I think they are ruling it a fumble. We don't have, we might have the replay technology to see if
his arm was in motion. I don't know.
Yeah. Tough call without
They
quality.
did call it a fumble, didn't
Yeah,
they?
tough call without quality replay. And the officials here in North Idaho are stretched pretty thin, Uncle Pete. So I don't know if we're going to get, always the most favorable calls. Walcott dropping. Looks like a little screen pass.
Oh, what?
And that's
get a
Blaylock. Blaylock right up the right side. Picks up a block.
And a score.
And another
That's a great
second
call.
score. On the block there at the goal line was Drayden Taylor. Blaylock had Taylor and McDonald out in front of him. He was not going to not get into the
That
end
was
zone
beautiful,
there.
wasn't it?
That was a
Remember
great
that?
screen.
Remember against Fremont, they had that
Yeah.
screen set up a couple of
Yeah.
times, and we were just like, oh, just inches.
Yeah.
That was beautiful execution, right?
Yeah, that was great. Wildcats go up 20-0 here, just under 30 seconds left in the quarter. And this is kind of what we've expected to see from the Wildcat offense. You know, we knew that they had... Oh, we've got a flag on the PAT. I'm assuming an offsides. Maybe something went over the center. Because I believe the center is supposed to be untouched, right? There's some sort of rule protecting the center. So Wildcats probably going to get another opportunity at this PAT.
Shannon, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Now you've been here. I've been here. This is my third game here in Kellogg, and it is so great to get back into town. Now we've had a chance to talk and to chat, and we love to talk football.
Sure.
What do you see is happening with Kellogg?
Well, what I'm
Progressing through the year.
what I'm really like
Oh,
what I'm
blocked.
seeing right now is a very good balance of run and pass right now. It's opening some things up and stuff like that. I mean, it's an old cliche, for coaches and stuff. We got to be balanced and stuff like that. But, it's looking really, really good, Pete. It really is.
How do you feel about their offensive line? Because I have my own opinion, and I watch offensive and defensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I key on. What do you think about the O line, their progress this year?
I think Coach North does a great job with them and stuff like that. That's a great question you asked, because I was watching him warm up and stuff, and I was watching him do drill work with them before the game and stuff like that. And I said, man, I love that stuff.
You know what my credo is?
Yeah.
It's all about feet.
Yeah, it's all about feet, doing those board drills, baby.
And one thing that I'll chime in, I'm not quite I'm not even remotely the football guy that you two are, but the Wildcats don't pick up a ton of pre-snap penalties.
No.
And that's gone on for a while now.
Yeah.
Ooh. Better finish that tackle. Orofino looks like they might break one off. And Drayden Taylor, the last line of defense, stops Orofino's return.
Here's the replay.
That's Nolan Williams. Had all sorts of room to run. Wildcats stop a potential kick return touchdown of their own. And, but back to what we were saying, the Wildcats play pretty disciplined. I think they know that they're probably a little overmatched on the defensive and offensive line, at least through the games that we've seen. The size is just not there for them. Right. So in that, you've got to just be disciplined. You can't give up easy ones. You can't give up free yards. You got to, make sure you're not picking up a bunch of holds. We saw a ton of penalties in that game against Moscow. I think Uncle Pete can remember.
Yes.
The game against Moscow was something to – it was kind of a nightmare, really, when you think back on some of the flags that were thrown. That was probably the sloppiest we've seen.
They're walking a penalty off
got
here.
A penalty on it. I believe that at one point one of the Wildcats kind of came in and blindsided a guy who wasn't the ball carrier, which might have been like an unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct type penalty, which with the way they marched him up would seem to be right in that ballpark. But, Orofino now inside the Wildcat 15. Little misdirection there.
Good penetration.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing that will stop any offense, right, Josh?
Good penetration.
Good penetration.
Good penetration.
Yeah, and I've seen it. I've seen it in the 3 games that I've been here. I've seen some good D-line penetration.
Yeah. Even against teams that were kind of vaunted. Moscow came in willing to pass, so that line was ready to pass protect, and we put pressure on them quite a bit. We didn't make it easy. The score is not reflective of how well we thought our defense had played. It was more indicative of how poorly our offense went. And then against North Fremont, just such a dominant style of football. But again, we were putting pressure on them constantly, and then it was like we couldn't quite get off the field. Yeah. You get them in 4th and 1, and they pick up 1.5, and you're just like, oh.
What the thing I remembered about Fremont, though, is this. In the second half, the coaches made the adjustments at halftime, and we
won the second half.
Wasn't it 16,
I think
14-8 or something?
Yeah, we won the second half.
Okay. So my point is that the adjustments are made on the D line, and you do get that if you and they came into the gaps against Fremont, and Fremont had a tougher time of running that veer offense.
Yeah, and I have to imagine Coach Davidian, at this point when he's dialed up blitz and then let his ends or outside linebackers do their job containing, that really kind of neutralizes any of the fakes that are happening just because the penetration is so good. So if I was Davidian in this situation here, I'm probably calling the exact same thing that you called on the previous play. And, looks like the ball was set in a wonky spot. He must have gotten to the line of scrimmage, giving him a little bit of forward progress there. I thought we had gotten him behind the line, but he did get a couple steps in. Oh, out to run. Ooh, and they're going to throw a little screen of their own. And lucky that Nolan Williams didn't make the grab there.
I don't know. They had some good pursuit on that. They would have got a couple yards, but Jaeger was there.
And we haven't dialed up Jaeger's number yet, but he's always just a big play waiting to happen. We've just seen so many, we've had Coleman Blaylock up the right side twice. We had a kick return earlier, it just, all those things. Jaegers do, and it's homecoming. I feel like there might be something a little special in the air for the Wildcats tonight. And again, anyone who's paid attention to social media in North Idaho knows that just about every team up here is playing with a little extra spunk, just, I think, in honor of Coach Teft. I know it, as much as it might sound cliche, we had volleyball teams from Wallace playing in green last night in Kootenai.
Yeah.
We've just seen a lot of good stuff. The community has rallied. I know Coach Stetson Spooner in Mullen just instantly got a hold of me after hearing the news. He just blatantly, life's not fair. When you lose good ones, life's not fair. And he always preached that, being tough is a real thing. And it's a mantra that you can obviously tell those St. Mary's fellas are living by. And good luck to them, because they're probably in quite the dogfight themselves up in Spirit Lake tonight.
Okay, Kellogg, stop that quick little give to the fullback.
Yeah, the Wildcat defense right now looks real good.
Yeah. Something I might want to add is what Orofino's doing with the penetration and stuff is they're starting to squeeze down their splits and stuff. They've come in about a half, 3/4 of a step. So that stuff, they're trying to stop the penetration and stuff and trying to get. So they really have to watch out for counters and quick sweeps and things of that nature.
Yeah. Wildcats still running the ball, this time Andrew Lewis as the halfback. And that's something that will be worth exploring in the future, because the 1-2 combination of Radley McDonald and Andrew Lewis, you're either going to have to sprint to catch one, or you're going to have to be willing to eat a hit from the other. Lewis is a big kid. Yeah. He's just a sophomore. And the way he's just physically so big. Quick slant here, another grab for Coleman Blaylock there.
Blaylock is having a game, isn't he?
He really is, and he was due for one.
Is it his birthday or something? I mean, he is getting it today.
Coleman. I've had the privilege of coaching Coleman for 2 years in basketball. He is a rise to the occasion player. When the time is necessary for him to do something. Another inside handoff here. This is Andrew Lewis.
He's going,
and look at that.
Come on.
He doesn't quite have the speed, but he's getting to the outside here, trying to make a move. Nice gain for Lewis there.
That is wonderful.
And the Wildcats are seeing
can we get that again?
Pretty significant success on the ground.
That looked like you mentioned crossbuck before. I know he came, it crossed over. I don't know what the blocking was on that though. Yeah. Man, I wish.
Looks like they down block everything to the left there, Pete. And it just opened up the gap.
Okay.
You just got to
the
gap.
Okay.
Great run for Lewis.
Just a zone and
Walcott going to go over the top.
Nice grab
by Drayden Taylor there. And it really just kind of feels like the Wildcats are getting everything that they want tonight.
Josh, isn't this awesome?
This
How
is
many
fun to watch.
different names you've mentioned?
And not
tonight?
not Jager Hall. Still not Jager Hall. I'm waiting for it.
I love this. This is great. And that's what Kellogg has had to learn. And you mentioned this weeks ago, Josh, on developing players that didn't play last year.
Oof.
Okay.
Kind of an errant throw there from Reed. It looked like a miscommunication between him and Walcott. He actually had Blake Coburn that's Wyatt Story, 41, not 11, kind of right up the middle of the field there. But you're absolutely right. We were so spoiled for 2 years watching arguably the best athletes in North Idaho play football here. And they played it really well, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Walcott kind of dancing around. He's going to run for a couple there. And I think he might have even picked up the first down.
Give me an opinion on that. Was that some nice footwork?
Oh,
You know
man,
what?
that
I mean,
was
he
awesome.
did the jumps.
Yeah.
That's not Reed Walcott.
Oh, that was four.
That's Porter Lewis.
That was Porter.
That's Porter Lewis under center right now. So everyone.
Sorry, folks. That was Porter Lewis. That was a nice. That was.
I was trying to figure out how Reed got so fast.
Yeah, he is.
Inside handoff to his brother, Porter to Andrew Lewis. And I think they're probably one more of those away from punching this one in.
I'll tell you, Josh, there's a great combo block on that play and stuff like that. They double team the defensive tackle and then work to the linebacker, and it opened everything up on the backside.
They have some new blocking schemes. I love it. I think the coaches have made some really good adjustments.
I obviously being a parent of a player, and you guys have coached kids, and when practices are going good. Oh, oof! What a hit there on Wyatt Story. Gosh, that was gnarly there.
Hang on, Wyatt. Here he gets separated from the ball here. I was out. Yeah, I was over.
But the last 4 days, when
Nice
I pick
effort.
up Radley from practice, and hey, I was practice, and he's bouncing off the walls talking about how good it's going, something's clicking. Something's clicking. It's homecoming week. These kids want to show off for their hometown fans. Sorry, we've got this robot in our way, so we're all kind of crouching under here. Lewis, inside handoff to his brother, Andrew, and that's going to get stopped here. And it's going to bring up fourth down. So now...
Okay, I think what they were doing there they were trying to pull Spencer, and he got pushed back into the running back. So,
and this is a definite adjustment because these are live game reps for offensive plays that we haven't seen the Wildcats run anything like this all year. I mean, a week ago, this was a designed pass play on 3rd and goal from right here. Now, they're running these kind of a little bit more complex passes, and Porter hits Andrew right in the hands, but he doesn't bring it in, so it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Wildcats. Unfortunately for the Maniacs, it is deep.
now let's see what the D line does. Here's another point I like to make is that the D line. I know that we want them to get up in there and make tackles and get in the gaps and all of this, but really, when you look at the basis of a defense, the D line is to occupy and defeat the offensive line so that the linebackers are the ones making the tackles.
Yeah.
And so, it's great. Tom O'Neill has had some good penetration this first quarter, and so he had some tackles. But really, what you like to see is those offensive linemen getting controlled by the D line, and then the linebackers pursuing. If we have to make a move where we're getting into the gaps, then the D line is going to be making more tackles.
Yeah.
So on the 1st and 10 here,
Shannon, I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I know that you have a heck of a lot to say.
little inside
I
handoff.
love it that you're up here.
This is great.
Little inside handoff goes for about 2 or 3, and gives the Maniacs a little bit of breathing room there. So very second and manageable.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a timeout here, looks like, from the Maniacs. And just so you guys know, we are going at halftime. We're going to stay live the whole halftime. We've got homecoming festivities, so the pep band will be playing. We will coronate our homecoming king and queen, which I believe all 4 Homecoming King nominees are football players. I don't think I've seen that in like a decade. So that'll be a lot of fun. I know the pep band has worked up a whole mishmash of Taylor Swift songs. Coach Shannon's own daughter, I believe, is playing in the pep band.
Yes, she is.
So, there's a little bit of everyone kind of sprinkled all over homecoming night here. And we're just excited to be here. Wildcats up 20-0, 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter. We're having a good time.
That's a great summary, Josh. Thank you. Hey, let me add something to that about 4 football players on the podium during halftime.
Okay.
Makes coaches nuts. Crazy.
Yeah.
You have and we have to remember that these football players, they're student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They participate in the community of the school, and so it's natural that you have these leaders on the field in the classroom.
Yes.
At the school. It's no wonder that they're nominated. Okay, here we go.
Little outside sweep action.
I like that.
And a gang tackle there. It looks like Tom O'Neill was involved in it. Didn't see who the other one was, but you see Tom O'Neill running out of there kind of like a little bandit. I love Tom O'Neill. I don't if you guys have ever had a chance to meet Tom, he's always kind of got a smart butt thing to say. He walks around with a half grin on his face where you almost always think he's guilty of doing something.
Don't you love that though?
Oh yeah.
It's a person. All of this teams are personalities, and it's relationship, and Tom is a junior. We're going to get him back next year.
Yeah. And to quote, my favorite guy on TV, Pat McAfee.
Oh, look at that. That is some great. I love this.
Looks like first
Shannon,
contact.
say something about that.
First contact made by McDonald. Did we get a replay there? Let's take a look at that
Here
replay.
we go, Buck. Buck has a replay.
McDonald makes
Look
first
at this.
contact, and then the rest of the Wildcats kind of come in and finish him off.
Well, what everybody did there, Josh and Pete, is the guys on the defensive line fought to keep their outside hands free and stuff, and then keep inside leverage on the ball. And that's why they strung it out and got them for a loss there.
It was great. They took on the blocks. They took on the block. The two running back blocks were negated just by that technique.
Right.
And the punt is off, kind of a spirally one. There's Jager Hall.
Jager, do it.
Oh, Jager Hall, and I think we're going to get no flag there.
No.
Looked like a whole lot of the back of the jersey. I thought maybe there might have been some
Here's a replay.
collar action there.
A little bit of a wall set up there.
Okay,
Just
nice
a
tackle
touch.
by number 12. I mean, he got down the field. It was a short kick.
Wildcats going to take over. Great field position, just under 6 minutes, plenty of time.
Yeah.
And looking to see kind of what they do here formation-wise. Reed Watcott back in at quarterback. 4 receiver set. I feel like Jager Hall's due. I just feel it in my bones. Oh, Jager Hall to the outside. Reed Watcott steps up and fires. He's got him open. Oh my goodness. I called it. I think I spoke that into existence.
Give me some. Yeah. Thanks, Buck, for that replay. That's beautiful. Do
Jager
it again
Hall.
if you can.
That was fantastic.
You are the man.
And I
Yeah, look at that.
just wide open.
Buck, can we look at that from the beginning of the play?
We get the whole
See
play
what
there.
route he's running?
I believe it's a little cross route
He was
there.
in the slot,
He lined up in the slot.
so I think it wasn't a wheel route.
No.
Looks like we're
That's
not getting
okay,
the whole
thanks, Buck.
replay
Kind
there.
of an old-fashioned little fly.
So I think
fly
Coleman
type.
Blaylock was lined out far left.
Yes.
He goes on the slant, and Jager kind of runs just a little under.
Comes
and,
underneath him.
Yeah. They did this a lot last week.
We're going for 2.
A lot last week against St.
Watcott
Mary's.
rolls out.
Does he get him? Doesn't quite get him.
Again, number 12, I think, broke up that pass.
Wildcats kind of humming here. Orofino's definitely got some athletes.
What's number 12's name? I'm sorry, I don't have a roster.
For the Maniacs?
Yes.
That's Jake Scott. He's a sophomore, 6'1" sophomore.
The kid's got some good size, and he's been in the last couple plays.
Yeah.
Not to mention his name.
There's a couple kids on this roster that we always talk about the ones we'd like to poach. I wouldn't mind some of these underclassmen who are getting, I mean, you know, right there you have Jake Scott. He's a sophomore. We've called the name of a couple underclassmen. I believe, let's see here, John Wicks, one of the running backs, their big fullback.
Okay, number 24.
Yeah, he's a junior, and he just kind of breaks tackles with the way he runs.
He has some size too. He's a stud. Yeah,
He's done some good things for the Maniacs here today. The Maniacs team, just not a lot of not a ton of numbers this year. No JV team, and like we said, there was some tragedy before the season started. So even the fact that they were able to put together a season, we got a late guy getting on the field here, and it looks like to kick we've got this Brady Vergobi to kick. Nice kind of line drive, and Wildcats going to cover this one. They're not giving up a big return this time.
Shannon, looks like Kellogg's are filling the lanes pretty well tonight on the kickoffs. Now,
outside of that last one.
And he got outside. He broke the contain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was some good athleticism. But it was funny during that play, Josh. I was going to say, look, I mean, Kellogg's in the lanes. They are where they're supposed to be, and then the guy gets outside.
Just didn't finish the tackle, and next thing you know, that kid took it all the way down. And that penalty put him inside the 15. But I think more importantly there, the Wildcat defense they held.
Yeah.
They didn't, I mean, Orofino got inside the 5, and yet still the Wildcats held.
Who's on the nose guard there? 50.
Oh, little screen, and Brady Vergobi, my goodness.
That's a enthusiastic tackle, wouldn't you say, Shannon?
Oh, yeah, man, that was good stuff.
Brady Vergobi.
You can tell on that play there, Pete, that he was coached up on it, and they've run that play several times here in the first half.
Brady Vergobi's another junior.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's just another player that we have to look forward to, making some big-time plays in a league game that, like we said before this thing started, this is a do or die. Wildcats got to win this one, and then they've got to beat Grangeville if they want to keep the Wildcats. I think they've made the postseason like 6 seasons in a row. If they want to get in the postseason, they got to first handle business here tonight, and then they got to beat Grangeville. And part of that is going to be about building some confidence. There's Tom O'Neill again on the tackle.
Yep. You know what? And I think Coletti was still in there on the nose guard, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he was.
Yeah, Coletti and Riley Coletti. So this was 2 weeks ago in Newport. Wildcats at this point were trying to make a comeback. They had, kept the game pretty close, and I don't know what just happened there with all their arms. That was kind of funny. But Coletti, Reed Walcott throws an interception. Coletti goes to make a tackle, tackles this kid with the crown of his helmet, ends up being stretchered off because they thought maybe he had, hurt his neck or something.
Okay, Tom.
Tom's heart right now is beating at about 135 beats per minute.
You said his motor's running all the time.
So
all right,
there are times in the locker room where I will come in before a basketball game and he's like, it almost looks like he's like vibrating. He's kind of like humming, and it's just a little, you just put your hand on his back. Just kind of steady him out a little bit because he is wired to go all the time. Oh, and that's number 24 again. Oh, the ball's out. Blake Coburn.
It had whistled. Good hustle there, but it had been whistled. What I noticed is we have the 4 D line, quick and undersized. Coletti's one of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we're doing there, wouldn't you say, Shannon, is we're using our quickness up front to get in the gaps, to do stunts, to cross or whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's watch the D line. Let's see what they're doing. I love it.
And this D-line is a pretty athletic bunch. Jack Fields, 5'10", 175 pounds. Riley Coletti, 5'8", 170 pounds. Then you have Brady Vergobi, 5'9", 165 pounds. I mean, these aren't little kids. They're kind of stout kids is really what it is. And right there's a gang tackle on 4th and 1. Wildcats stop that one. And they're going to take over with the chance to put some more points up before half.
What did you see there, Shannon?
Well, what I'm noticing there, Pete, is with a 4-man front and stuff like that. But everybody's within five yards of the ball right now.
Okay, yeah.
So, they're geared up to stop the run stuff. So my concern would be play action, stuff like that right now. So.
Wildcats going with their third running back of the day. This is junior Coulter Wood now in. Coulter Wood is kind of the blend of the two that we've seen already tonight. He's a little faster than Mr. Lewis, but runs real hard. Nice catch there by Wyatt Story. He's going to pick up enough for a first down there.
Yeah.
Nice just pitch and catch there from Watcott to Story. Story kind of more known for he's a very good defensive back. Great hands, knows when to turn around, does all those things that, don't pick up costly pass interference flags. Watcott rolling out here. Fires one over the top. That's Wyatt Story again. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds right about the 18-yard line. 2nd and 2 here.
I love this. I love that, 3 weeks ago, how do I say this? We're just mentioning more names than we were 3 weeks ago. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong. It's a much more. It looks a lot more balanced. I'd like to see Coulter get the ball here. Oh, Coleman Blaylock. That might be the first time he hasn't made the play tonight. Drops the catch right over the middle there. Well defended.
Is that number 5 again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's that's. It's not really a slot, is it, Shannon? When he lines up in their offense.
No.
But I'm sorry. The print on this is just minuscule. I'm sorry. Williams is number 5.
Walcott here.
Lots
Fires
of time.
deep.
He's got a man open.
And I believe
Touchdown.
that was Coleman Blaylock. That's number 3.
It's got to be his birthday or something. It's got to. He is having a heck of a game.
Yeah, Blaylock with 3 first-half touchdowns.
Oh, we have a player down.
So on that last play, they were pretty much ran four verticals, 4 vertical routes and stuff. So that puts a lot of stress on the safeties.
And the one thing that we talk about, especially with the Wildcats, defensively, they're so used to practicing against, like a pass-first offense. But then to flip that around, Orofino probably doesn't work too much against the pass. They probably find themselves defending this multi-option play when they have enough guys. And it's one of those things where it's a real challenge when all of a sudden you're running into a team that's throwing 70% of the time.
Oh, that one was blocked as well.
Which might actually be down from the year before when we threw like 85% of the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're seeing a lot more running this game.
Yeah. But as I said earlier, Josh, the balance with the run and the pass right now, that is opening up these 4 verticals and all these other things that are going on, like the shallow crossers just before that. That's a staple play of Coach Leach from Washington State.
Rest in peace.
R.A.P., yeah. I'm sure him and Coach Teft are having some good talk right now. But they always ran shallow crossers 3 to 5 yards, and it puts a lot of stress on the linebackers.
Yeah. So Wildcats here, a commanding 32-0 lead. I believe this might actually be near the total of the points they'd scored the entire year. They've matched in one half. I can't be sure. I'm a words guy, not a numbers guy. But
you're a words guy?
I'm a writer by trade. Writer by trade. I can talk an ear off.
I appreciate you, Josh. I do.
I appreciate you guys.
I love being up here. I love doing this.
This is a whole lot more fun than the last 2 that we've done. That's for dang sure, isn't it? The last 2 kind of been painful.
Well, I really enjoy the Shannon being up here.
Yeah,
I had recommended it, and even before the what has happened this last week.
Oh my goodness! What a hit there! I believe that. Who made that hit? I don't know who number 15 is. Jacob Aurora freshman getting in the game, making a huge hit there.
Hey, it's homecoming, brother.
And it's everybody gets to make a play tonight. Yeah. But no, yeah, I'd actually talked to Coach Shannon about coming up earlier this week. Then Simon had mentioned that you had said something about it, so it really felt like the stars kind of aligned to make this happen, you know. And so I'm really very excited. And obviously we always have a good time. Little end around here, and Wildcats almost kind of willing to let the running back come to them a little bit. Tom O'Neill looks like.
Thanks, Buck. Here's a replay, right? We get the tail end of it.
I think Tom O'Neill might have taken one right inside.
I'm seeing multiple purple on the tackles as well. Would you say, Shannon?
Yeah.
Good pursuit to the ball.
Yeah, they're pursuing to the ball, and the guys on the back side, they're in like a cover 2 right now and stuff like that. So
we just got a visit up here from former athletic director Heather Goodner. She
was smiling a lot.
She's a sweetheart. Interception, Drayden Taylor. Ooh, is he going to take this one home? I think he might. He picks up a good block. Ooh, and he gets knocked out of bounds hard. There you go, Drayden Taylor. Wildcats right now firing on all cylinders. And Drayden Taylor just kind of read that one right. We haven't seen Orofino throw much, but I believe the 2 times we've seen it have been interceptions.
Well, quarterback got hit.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I did not see who hit him. But that was definitely
Wildcats.
Let's see. Buck's going to give us a replay. We get the tail end of it.
Inside handoff. Coulter Wood going to get brought down behind the line. Possibly the best penetration we've seen from the Maniacs all night. Just really good. Got on top of Coulter real quick. I think Coulter was about one little juke away from having all sorts of field ahead of him, though. I wouldn't mind seeing him go right back to that and maybe challenging your offensive line to give their running back a little more time.
I just had my phone ring, and it said the number was from Prosser, which is an
my goodness, my goodness, Coulter,
which is an eight-man country.
Yeah.
Coulter Wood just got kind of leveled there.
Yeah,
that was a smack, and now the Wildcats are in a 3rd and long. With a minute and a half left, this is
that's number 12 again.
About the worst field position and down and distance I think the Wildcats have seen all night. Definitely in 4-down territory. Wildcats don't have to get everything on one play here. Walcott drops back, fires up over the top, and it is caught by Wyatt Story. So that's, I believe, 6 first-half touchdowns. 3 by Coleman Blaylock, 1 by Wyatt Story, 1 by Radley McDonald, and who had the other one? Jager Hall. Yeah. My goodness.
Yes.
Now, if we could just get a darn 2-point conversion, I think we're trying to kick them, which is kind of cool. Yeah. That's not something that we've done much this year, but. Tough outing for the Maniacs to make this long drive up here. It's homecoming, so it's going to be a long half.
So I'd like to point that. Thanks, Josh. I'd like to point that out. Not only a long drive, and believe me, I've coached teams where I've had that many players on the sideline, and it's really a courageous thing that these guys that teams like this do. They come out and they have 3 players on the sidelines. And, when you're in a coaching situation like that, you prepare to win. Always. Right, Shannon? You always
absolutely.
Prepare to win. You approach every game with a winning attitude. But when you have 3 guys in a 11-man football, and I had 2 guys in 8-man football.
Right.
It's something that is difficult, but it builds character.
Yeah,
and
it does.
The coaches have to remember to emphasize this to the guys in post-game interactions.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And they have to stay positive with the kids, and give them good coaching points of the things they did correctly. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, the things that were done incorrectly, you got to get them coached up on it and make sure try to do your best to make sure that those mistakes don't happen again.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
with their numbers and stuff like that, with 17, 18 kids, man, that's tough to practice against. You're not getting a good look.
The challenge really comes down to is the realization that for every one of these years you're going to have is there's going to be a time where the script's going to be flipped and you're going to be the team up 38-0. Mm-hmm. It sucks when it happens. Last year there were a lot of times that we, went on these runs where, we beat Orofino last year, I believe, by 80 points. Yeah. I believe it was an 80-0 ball game in Orofino. Oh my! I believe Coulter Wood there on the hit. Wildcats fired up, but you know that these things happen. Mm-hmm. You got to navigate them. Everybody has their ups and downs.
Sure.
And it's painful. We've watched kind of, down the road here, a Wallace program that, went from some really, really good years into some years where they didn't quite have the numbers. They were, playing Lapway and Prairie and kind of getting their butt kicked a little bit. And now they're kind of back on the come up. They're young, but they're playing hard. They're competing. For a couple years, Mullen almost lost their program entirely. Here we have another little.
Well, Kootenai didn't play last year.
Yeah, Kootenai has lost their program a couple different times, and every year it seems like they try to field a team, and they're one injury away from not having a season.
Yeah,
which is essentially what happened this week. They were supposed to play Wallace tonight for homecoming, couldn't because of injuries, so Troy Montana came down and played them.
Oh.
So it really,
Wow.
this happens.
Hey, I've been there before. We at Highland. Mm-hmm. We made the playoffs.
Yeah.
We only had 8 guys, so our board would not let us go down to the playoff game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
There's safety.
Some safety concerns.
I know.
Safety concerns.
I know, but
with
we
that.
played a lot like that that year, and so we pleaded our case. I pleaded our case at a board meeting, and they wouldn't let us go, and the guys were really disappointed.
Yeah.
But
so we're at halftime here. It's homecoming. Your Wildcats are on top 38-0. Real quick, I'm going to let you know who our homecoming royalty is before we send it to the pep band and PA announcer Chris Johnson, who will kind of run through the homecoming festivities. So representing the freshman class is Miss Emily Coe and Mr. Jager Hall. Representing the sophomore class is Miss Madison White and Mr. Blake Coburn. Representing the junior class, Miss Zoe Brooks and Mr. Reed Watcott. Representing the senior class is Miss Macy Jerome and Mr. Riley Coletti. So we're going to send it to the band for the homecoming festivities. You guys at home enjoy. We'll be back with the second half, and thank you so much for watching Wildcats Live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Kellogg High School Homecoming Halftime Show for 2023. After an amazing homecoming week, we are excited to introduce our band. our ROTC members, and homecoming royalty. We would like to give a huge thank you to the KHS leadership class for making this homecoming week possible for everyone, and acknowledge the students and spectators for being here today and all week to make each event we have had done possible. Tonight's ceremonies and football game culminate a week of fun-filled festivities at KHS. Each class decorated hallways at the high school, freshmen with purple and gold, sophomores, Halloween, juniors, jungle, and the seniors, Super Mario Brothers. A whole week's worth of spirit dress-up days, a powder puff volleyball game on Monday night, movie night on Tuesday, the powder puff football game with the boys cheerleading squad, a volleyball game in Preach River with the band, cheerleaders, and the spirit bus. And after tonight's game, we will have the annual bonfire at the high school. We will finish the week tomorrow night at the homecoming dance held at the Shoshone Golf Course. The celebration continues right now at this evening's homecoming football game and the crowning of our KHS homecoming royalty. Moving into place this time is the Kellogg High School Band under the direction of Adam Lee and senior drum major Izzy Isabella Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Kellogg High School Marching Band and our traditional halftime performance. selected 8 candidates from the senior class of 2024 to represent each of the 4 classes of KHS. From these candidates, the students of KHS have voted to select tonight's homecoming king and queen. And now, please welcome our Kellogg High School cheer team under the direction of Sarah Sawyer and Lori Sawyer, who will present tonight's homecoming royalty. And now, your 2023 homecoming nominees. Representing the freshman class, please welcome Miss Emily Coe and Mr. Jager Hall. Representing the sophomore class, please welcome Miss Madison White and Mr. Blake Coburn. Representing the junior class, please welcome Miss Zoe Brooks and Mr. Reed Watcott. And representing the senior class, please welcome Miss Macy Jerome and Mr. Riley Coletti. Crowning tonight's royalty will be the senior members of the KHS cheerleading squad. Please welcome Miss Ella Pooler and Miss Rebecca Schreier. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for. A warm round of applause, if you would, for the 2 candidates selected to our 2023 Kellogg High School Homecoming King and Queen. The 2023 Homecoming King is Riley Coletti. And your 2023 Homecoming Queen is Miss Macy Jerome. Please join in one final round of applause for this year's homecoming royalty, the KHS band and the cheerleaders. Congratulations again to Mr. King, Riley Coletti, and Miss Queen, Macy Jerome. This concludes the homecoming halftime festivities. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Jim, Tony, and Service for all their support. And we do appreciate all the support from Dave Smith Motors. Thanks again once more to Let's Rock Fire for supporting Kellogg cheerleading. This time we're going to do the 50-50 drawing for Kellogg volleyball. Get your red tickets out. Number is 6088158. Once again, 6088158. 158. The pot is worth $586. One more time. 6088158. One last time, 6088158. We're going to draw another number. Number 563019. $586, folks. 563019.
Purple and gold through and through. Shoshone Glass has been serving the home and auto glass and glazing needs of the Silver Valley and North Idaho for more than 50 years. With 3 generations of family expertise and community loyalty, they have a well-earned reputation for hard work and excellence. No matter what your needs, you can rest easy knowing that your project will be handled quickly and professionally. From energy-efficient windows and sliding glass doors to bath enclosures and mirrors, and a comprehensive auto glass service as well. Let the experts at Shoshone Glass take care of your home, auto, and business needs by calling 208-783-1159 or going to shoshoneglass.com. Go Wildcats! NASCO is a loyal Wildcat activity supporter and Kellogg-based construction management company. Their primary focus is supporting our military through the performance of multi-million-dollar federal construction contracts. NASCO has a long history in the Silver Valley where their home office has been based for more than 25 years. They have enjoyed continued growth and now have multiple satellite offices nationwide. To date, they've worked on over 50 military bases and performed more than 4,000 construction projects across the United States. NASCO has had the privilege of working with the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs to plan, develop, and complete their new visitor center, which will both serve as a designated Colorado Welcome Center and illustrate a day in the life of cadets through interactive exhibits. NASCO provides support to our military through the construction of essential facilities used to train, prepare our soldiers, and enhance our nation's warfighting readiness. NASCO is proud of their Silver Valley roots and is actively involved in local community events and activities. You can find them on the web at nascousa.com. Wildcats Live would like to thank NASCO for being the original gold level supporter and proud partner. Thank you, NASCO, and go Wildcats!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Shannon Pooler, Buckco, and Uncle Pete Miller. Simon Miller's doing some photography. Wildcats kick to open up the second half. They're on top of Orofino, 38-0. And a great tackle on the opening kickoff there, Shannon.
Yeah, a really good job of getting down the field. Kept their lanes real well. Ball on the inside shoulder, textbook coverage on the kickoff there.
Yeah. Orofino going to take over, it's like at their own 29-yard line. Wildcats defensively, you know, they had the one drive in the first quarter where I felt like they kind of got gashed a little bit. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you know, very sound today.
Right.
Little misdirection here.
Yeah. So Kellogg
sniffed out pretty quickly.
Kellogg's still staying in their cover two. Safeties are 5 to 7 off the ball and stuff like that. The pass game's not really scaring them right now, Josh.
No, not at all.
So that's kind of why they're playing this defense right now.
Wildcats able to work in some guys. You know, right now, Coulter Wood, Radley McDonald, both the outside linebackers for the Wildcats, off in their place. Number 12, Talon White, a freshman, and number 22, Chase Scribner, a sophomore. So some guys who don't get a ton of varsity action, and it looks like a fumble on the play, and I believe the Wildcats have it. I can't be sure.
Yeah, they did. They got it, Josh.
Yep. And it looks like on the recovery, number 61, that's Brady Vergobi. So the Wildcats, a couple defensive plays, get a takeaway. Wildcats, they have the 2 interceptions, a couple turnovers on downs, and then that fumble recovery here. So obviously Orofino could stand to take care of the ball better, but not nearly as sloppy as you would think from such a lopsided score. On the inside handoff there from McDonald. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. Wildcats going with kind of some new looks here, taking handoffs inside off the shallow end of the field there. Not something we've seen from the Wildcats a ton this season.
Right.
So work in progress, this rush game. Getting this rush game kind of developed for the Wildcats is kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Well, if you notice right now, Josh, Orofino's safeties are about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage right now. So it's really opening up the run game just like that.
There's Blaylock, catches one in the flat and houses it.
Yeah.
takes it 25 yards for a touchdown.
Right.
Blaylock with 4.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wildcats right there. And you're right. I mean, that's all set up by adding a running game. So now suddenly the play action is actually something that has to be respected. And next thing you know, Coleman Blaylock sitting pretty with 4 touchdowns on this homecoming romp for the Wildcats.
Well, and with those safeties playing so far off the ball, Josh, and stuff, it's really hard for them in run support. Mm-hmm. So they're worried about Kellogg's passing game right now. But
Yeah.
Kellogg's doing a really good job of adjusting to what Orofino's given them defensively.
Yeah. Fake handoff, Reed Watcott with the throw, and caught. Waiting for a number there. Looks like Jager Hall on the reception. So Wildcats have featured 3 different running backs tonight, all with kind of varied levels of success. You know, Coulter Wood did a really good job to end that half with some blocking, which freed up Reed Watcott to make some throws downfield. Andrew Lewis, rumble, picking up some big yards here. And then, you know, Radley McDonald, a threat to the outside with the speed.
Hey,
And-
Pete back here. I just really love you say that again. See that again. Rumble.
You just really like me talking about enjoying the run. I know you have like this sick fascination with bringing it to my attention because for the last 2 years I've talked about how much I despised it when it was, you know, the wishbone style multi-option Dan Lucier offense, and, you know, much loved it, Coach Lucier, but I could not stand watching that. It was so hard to broadcast those games. Wildcats now
But you know
rotate.
what, Josh? I mean, it's been pointed out already tonight. The balance the Kellogg has. That's wonderful.
Deep kick for the Wildcats, fielded at the 15-yard line. And great tackle there. Jacob Aurora, who's a freshman, coming in, making some really big special teams plays. Early in the season, Jacob Aurora was touted as one of the potential impact players for this varsity team. But then in practice, right before the first game, he separated his shoulder. He spent most of the first month in a sling. Heck of an athlete. The kid is a big kid for a freshman. I mean, this doesn't really give him nearly the credit, but at 5'9" and 155 pounds as a freshman, good-sized kid. Orofino here taken over at the 24-yard line. Pitch outside, and Drayden Taylor makes a tackle, kind of
Good
just
contain on that.
welcomes the contact.
Right. Hey, you know, one point about this, about not having a JV game, is that it opens up more eligibility for
Yes.
these younger guys.
Yeah.
And so it's great. I mean, unfortunately, the Maniacs don't have enough guys for, you know, for JV team, but it enables on homecoming night, freshmen, a lot of sophomores. It's great.
Everybody's getting a chance. We had talked about that right before you got back up here. Down here on this outside linebacker, defensive end kind of edge position, you got number 12. It's Talon White. He's a freshman. Good-sized freshman. Ooh, and he's going to get involved right there. He's part of the tackle, maybe tackle for a loss, maybe the line of scrimmage. But there's a
Here
freshman
comes
right there.
Here's a replay.
Look at the freshman, number 12, get in there on that one. And he's pumped up. Getting these minutes is important. You know, this is a team that, you know, they're only sending up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seniors.
Yeah.
They got 6 seniors, 6 or 7 seniors. So
Well, seven with Ramsey.
oh, right.
Yeah.
7 with Ramsey. So 6 eligible seniors. So the JV guys who have done really well this year. Our JV team has performed very well. I mean, I think last week there was it was like a 36-0 shutout of St. Mary's. We've got some talent in the JV ranks, and getting them this experience is probably really, really important to what this team's going to look like 12 months from now. You know, 12 months from now, this might be a game where maybe it's defending or, you know, extending your hold on a Central Idaho League potential championship. Maybe it's not clinging for life, being 0-4 to start the season. Here's Story fielding the punt off the bounce. He's going to get around the edge.
2 blockers.
He's got plenty of room. Gets a block. That's Andrew Lewis.
Yep, there
He's
he
got
goes.
lots of room,
There
and
he
he's going
goes.
to get there.
I'll tell you what.
Ooh, Andrew
special
Lewis.
teams blocking. I love that. You know, that guy,
Look at the blockers on the rebound
Andrew
and
Lewis
stuff like that.
just eats
Look.
100% of that contact right
Yeah.
there,
And-
all in the name of getting Wyatt Story open up the field. That's unselfish football because that doesn't feel good.
Well, they set a really nice fence on the edge there, Josh, and that's how he was able to get around there. So any pursuit that's coming from him, they got him shielded off.
Yeah. So right there, again, everybody doing it. That's Story's second touchdown of the night. He had the reception there. Did he catch no, he didn't catch. He caught the one just before the end of the half. Coleman Blaylock had the one just to open the half. Going field goal, and still no good.
No.
They're trying. Wildcats up 52-0, 8:19 left in the third quarter. We're definitely heading for running clock territory here in this fourth quarter. It's, I think, 40 points. If you have a lead of 40 points or more in high school football. Somebody's having fun with what appears to be a laser pointer on the scoreboard. I'm having a really good time watching them circle the 52. We have definitely crossed the threshold for total points scored this season. Shout out the Wildcats offense for responding in a big way. Shout out the Wildcat coaching staff for realizing that maybe an adjustment needed to be made after 4 weeks and there was steady improvement, but it really became glaringly obvious last week that without a run option, I think if we had seen maybe some of these more designed runs and even some play action stuff, it might have been the difference in last week's ball game, which was a much tighter ball game than what the 30-18 final score indicated. But this looks like a completely different team. Kind of a weird little squib kick there from the Wildcats. Once again, great coverage there. Aurora misses the tackle this time. Big eyes for the freshman who's made back-to-back big special teams hits. The Wildcats rotating in a lot of young guys on defense right now.
I think I saw 72, Kyle Van Vliet on that assist on that tackle there.
KVV.
Way to go.
Kyle Van Vliet.
Liking that.
We got a funny story about him. So his freshman year, he shows up to basketball tryouts. He gets through day one. At the end of day one, we always run a Sweet 16. And it's not really timed, but it's like, hey, let's get it in a minute 5. He doesn't get it in a minute 5. He gets done with it. He's like, holy cow, coach, I can't do this. So then he doesn't show up for day 2, and I see him at wrestling practice. And he makes some comment. Great contained there by the Wildcats. He makes some comment about, I went wrestling. I couldn't do the running in basketball. For the rest of the year, every time I saw them running laps, I made a point to go out there and see Kyle and be like, how do you like the running you're doing, sir? Because the running we do is a whole lot more fun than the running it looks like you guys are doing. But, hats off to Kyle. Kyle also is never hesitant to come in and bet me $20 that he can hit a shot from the corner 3. I take the bet every time. I don't think he's paid me yet, but, eventually we'll make up on that. We'll square up. Oh, little handoff here. Wildcats. Another group tackle by the Wildcats. They're really getting a lot better kind of watching the ball. They're not biting on fakes nearly as much as they were in the first half, which is good because this is the young group that's in the game right now.
They're really honoring their assignments, especially on the edge and stuff like that. And I said it earlier, too. They're fighting to keep their outside hand free. Mm-hmm. The reason you do that is so you don't get pinned inside and they can get around you on the outside.
Okay.
Well, you said, and you saw what happened on the 2 plays prior to this where the guy got outside is we got caught up inside.
Right.
Christian Lopez on the tackle there. There's another name that we haven't called out tonight. Another sophomore, another young kid getting in, making a play there, watching the play, watching the ball, like you said, honoring the assignment and then finishing the play off, which can be pretty challenging for some of these young guys. In the game right now, junior Randy Rodriguez, he's gotten a lot of minutes at the JV level. Looks like Orofino to punt, almost blocked. Story going to just let this one bounce, give the Wildcats the opportunity to, run some offense here. But it looks like Wildcats have gone pretty young and letting some guys get in and do their thing. Porter Lewis had a series where he got to be quarterback. It looks like he's going to stay in at quarterback.
Good.
So
Nice.
lot of good things there.
So Porter Lewis, freshman, right?
Yeah, Porter Lewis.
Yeah.
Porter Lewis, freshman QB, has a great ball, throws a great ball, has done a really good job. Last week he actually played ill, and there was a very comical moment where looks like there might have been a penalty on the play there, where right before he goes to take the snap, you see him throw up through his helmet. He finishes, claps for the ball, takes the snap, drops back, 30-yard touchdown. Holy cow. Lewis to Lewis handoff here goes for nothing. Negative yards here on the carry. Great penetration there by the Maniacs. So Wildcats going kind of young here. Ball backed up in the game. You've got Russell Fields. He's a junior. Not usually on that offensive line. Kind of some confusion here, it looks like, on the offense. Little pass in the flats. That's Tanner Williams, and he's going to get tackled for a gain. Looks like they're going to pick up about 9 yards on that one, bring up 3rd and 5.
Looks like it.
Nice little quick throw by Porter Lewis there.
Hey, one thing great about this game, Josh, I went down in the stands at
Yeah.
halftime. I was late because
Ooh, what a hit.
there's so many people down there.
Yeah.
It's tough to get through the stands back up here.
Yeah, it looks like a good crowd.
Yeah, it's a good crowd, and welcome to everybody, and welcome everybody to this live stream. We're honored to present it to you tonight.
Yeah, we really love Wildcats Live bringing you these games. It was a kind of a project Simon and I started when the radio station folded. We knew that we had to do something, and then kind of COVID hit. Andrew Lewis here on the big carry. He's going to get brought down, picks up about 12 on the carry.
What'd you think about that, Shannon?
Well, I thought the running back did an excellent job of putting his foot in the ground because he saw the angle that the corner was coming up. He put his right foot in the ground, got his shoulders square, and got upfield. So that was a great run.
Yeah, great run there by Andrew Lewis.
I knew that's what you were thinking.
Another quick pitch from Porter Lewis. Wyatt Story can't hold on to it. Might have been a little heat on that one. Porter's a talented freshman. I tell you what, from the things that we've seen from him already, he just plays the athletics that he does kind of at a different level than you see a lot of freshmen. Pretty heady kid, plays hard, competes hard. I got to coach him, another little handoff here to his brother. I got to coach him when he was between his 7th and 8th grade year, and we were playing in a summer league basketball tournament. And it was in Coeur d'Alene. We're probably one of the smaller schools there. We go 0-4. Looks like we've got a little, maybe an injury here. Andrew Lewis kind of limping off the field. Ooh.
Tweaked an ankle or something. Hey, I'd like to point out on our screen for the viewers, I know you're watching this, but I wanted to make a comment about there's some sponsors up in the left-hand corner. Mm-hmm. I noticed several old friends, in that group.
Oh, Porter Lewis has the option there, fakes the handoff, and then takes it back the other way. Just kind of saw a lane and went for it. Porter Lewis, quite the gamer. But like I was saying there, Porter, after we lost our 4th game in a row, I'm sitting there talking to Porter, and he's almost like he wants to cry, but he's not quite crying. And I'm like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I just hate losing. Yeah. He was so upset by just losing that he couldn't keep himself together. That's how hard he competes all the time, and you respect that. You don't ever want a kid that's relatively okay with losing.
Right.
Porter is the real deal, and Porter as the JV quarterback and Andrew Lewis as the backup quarterback. Porter's seeing more minutes here as the backup QB in this game. Maybe moving into next year, maybe Porter gets the nod as the starter. He's good pitch there from Porter Lewis to Coulter Wood. Coulter doesn't quite turn and get upfield quite like Andrew Lewis did on that previous play. Going to bring up 3rd and I believe 9. And now we've got another, looks like a Maniac there. Kind of slumped over there. Hopefully it's nothing more than just a cramp. But it looks like he's kind of hurting. Coach is out to talk to him here. But the Wildcats, they've just kind of executing some stuff a little differently. I can't imagine if you're Orofino, when you were watching game film, you saw a whole bunch of these run plays,
Well, they're doing a really good job formation-wise, Josh. Notice on this side how spread out they are and stuff. They, these two guys on this corner and safety have to honor these two, okay? So they're kind of in a man situation right now.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they're doing a great job of spreading the formation out and then running the football.
Porter Lewis drops back to pass, sees an
See,
alley, and there he's going. He's going to make a move to the outside and get tackled in the dirt there. Out there in
Here's a replay on that. You can see where Orofino is really getting a lot of penetration, but actually that's all right because
it's to the benefit
Yes.
of the Wildcats.
And that's what I was speaking about formation-wise. They're getting people spread out, and it makes it very difficult for Orofino to defend that.
4th and 1 here for the Wildcats. They're going to go under center, and Lewis going to just take it right up the gut. I think he's going to pick up the first after a push. Orofino did not look ready for that. That play in the NFL has like a 99.3% success rate. Seems like something that most teams should make sure they have in their playbook. So now the Wildcats, fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, right about the 20-yard line. In a game that's really been all Wildcats from the opening kickoff. Lewis drops back to throw, has a guy over the top. Looked like Jacob Aurora there. A little bit of contact before the ball got there, but I think Aurora probably could have stretched out and got that one. Great. These are big, important reps for these Wildcats, though. There's a lot of guys who, these might be Aurora's first live reps of the season. I don't think he had any JV reps. You've got some younger JV guys at these stacked receiver spots here.
Yep.
Pass out in the flats. That's Aurora right there. Ooh, and he gets popped after a pickup of about 4.
yeah, that's good. It's good to get popped.
Yeah.
No, he's in a varsity game.
Reminds him
He
that
gets
he's
popped
alive.
like that, holds on to the ball, positive yardage, gets back up.
Especially
Let's do it again.
Especially coming off the injury there, and
Yes.
like, hey, I'm not made out of glass. These things happen. Lewis, snap over the top, and Porter's going to fall on it. It's going to bring up 4th and long. A little anxious snap there from the center. Wildcats may elect to punt. Looks like, nope, they're going to go for it. 4 down territory here. And the one thing when you're going with these younger guys, you got a bunch of trips out to the left here, is that it's going to take a little longer. There's going to be some growing pains. Lewis drops back, has a guy, decides he's going to keep it, making plays himself. He's going to get back to the original line. Not quite enough for the first, but you got to admire the spunk of the freshman there. Rolled out, didn't see anything he liked. Probably could have let that one develop a little bit. I don't think he gave his receivers enough time to do anything on the left side there.
Yeah. He had a shallow crosser coming across there, Josh, that was just getting close to breaking open. But, that's part of being a freshman and learning.
Yep.
And I'm sure they'll bring that up in film study on Monday.
Well, he had some pressure from the left defensive end.
Right.
It's good for Randy Rodriguez to get in there and see. You mentioned how successful the JV team was, Josh. It's good for them to get to varsity speed and go against some older guys, with a little bit more experience. And it's about feet.
Yeah.
It's about feet. These younger guys, as they develop, repetition, and they get that footwork down. That's what makes it on the offensive line.
And the caliber of athlete that the Maniacs have been on the field with, whether or not they're, at the top of the list or the bottom of the list, they are accustomed to playing at a certain speed, which is a varsity caliber speed, which is still significantly faster than what a lot of these guys have seen. So you don't want to take anything away from varsity speed is still so much more different than just down to the ability for these varsity guys to look over to their coach, see the hand signal once, and immediately know what the play is. It's not taking the 10 seconds for it to kind of sink in
and process it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're still 14-year-old boys who processing isn't their strong suit all the time. Looks like a quarterback keeper here, and there's going to be a whole bunch of Wildcats on the tackle. And I believe it was one of them in there, number 31, Christian Lopez, in on the tackle, as well as Randy Rodriguez. So these Wildcats doing really good job in kind of, fill-in work here, getting some really, really valuable reps. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Wildcats on top 52-0. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from one or two of our sponsors. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.
North America's premier silver mining and refining company and headquartered in Denver, Colorado, Sunshine Mining and Refining is a precious metals production, development, and exploration company primarily focused on silver. Their namesake project, the Sunshine Complex, is 100% owned by SSMRC and is North America's only vertically integrated silver complex. Located in the mining-friendly Coeur d'Alene Mining District in Idaho, the Sunshine Complex is composed of the Sunshine Mine and Sunshine Refinery, located in the heart of the Silver Valley, Kellogg, Idaho. Sunshine Silver Mining and Refining support many local endeavors and are Wildcats Live Gold level sponsors. Check out their website at sunshinesilvermining.com to learn more. Go Wildcats!
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Pete Miller, Shannon Pooler, Bucko, and Simon Miller is down there doing some camera work somewhere. It's homecoming night here at Teeters Field. Your Wildcats on top 52-0. The visiting Orofino Maniacs. It's been all Wildcats from the opening kickoff. I think that's pretty safe to say. At this juncture in the game, Wildcats have really kind of emptied the bench, letting some of their JV guys get in there and do some things. Also making sure that their varsity guys don't get hurt. JV guys did not have a game this year, so they're pretty much eligible to play this whole game. We've got a lot of kind of some legacy players in, Russell Fields in the game right now. He's the younger brother of Jack Fields, a senior on the team. Good tackle there. Looks like we're going to get an illegal block. Either an illegal block or a hold there as Wyatt Story gets in and makes the tackle. But these Wildcats have a lot of kind of legacy players on the roster. You have siblings, you have cousins, you have brothers. Just looking, we've already talked about the Lewises, the two of them, freshman and sophomore. You've got the Fields brothers. Then you start getting into some of these, it's a lot of young kids. Even the guys that are regular varsity starters, we have a lot of juniors and sophomores who are regular varsity contributors. So to see them having some success here is obviously a positive for the future. You see guys like Randy Rodriguez, a kid that I got to coach in YBL a few years ago. He's getting some valuable reps on this defensive line as well as the offensive line. Or if going to punt here deep in their own territory, I think back to return this, I think that's Jacob Aurora. Aurora is just itching to make a play here. Punts up. Oh, no, that's Wyatt Story. Wyatt probably could have picked that one up and done something with it. But he's gonna let his offense do a little work here. Let Porter get a few more reps. It's been a lot of fun to watch this offense kind of do some different things in this game. We've talked about it. If you're just joining us, they've done a lot of things that we hadn't seen, mixing in a little bit more of the run, which opens up some of the play action. Obviously, opens up a lot of the passing and. Right here, Porter Lewis going to roll out, and he's going to hit. Looks like Jacob Aurora there. Nice little 7-yard gain. Wildcats. We are in a running clock situation with this fourth quarter. 40-point mercy rule. Instead of the game ending, it's just a running clock. It's not going to stop, I don't think, for anything except for timeouts. Timeouts will be the only time that clock will stop.
You know, it's great that the Fields brothers are on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
I never got to experience that because my brothers were 6 and 7 years older than
Oh,
me.
design run. Porter Lewis going to scamper right up to the 45-yard line before he's forced out of bounds, pick up the first down. Wildcats lining up with 4 receivers and kind of a, I mean, it looked like they were setting up for some sort of wide receiver screenplay there. And the whole Orofino defense kind of bit on it. They shifted over, which opened up that running lane. Design run there for Porter Lewis. Lewis doing a lot of good things. One big one, he's not turning the ball over. He's going to drop here, fire one again right over the middle to Aurora. I think we're going to get an illegal block or a hold here.
That was kind of late
Yeah.
for a hold, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's going to be 10 yards,
maybe
and it's a spot foul
Maybe
now.
it took him a minute to process it. Huh?
Yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah. Well, and something to think about too, Pete, is, getting all these young guys in and stuff like that, getting them a lot of playing time. What practice is going to be like next week?
Yeah.
That everybody got to participate a little bit. I look forward to a really good practice week next week.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Coach.
That's a great perspective. I like that. Yeah.
And going with another substitution here. Talon White coming in to play a little running back. So, 4th running back of the night for the Wildcats. Pitch out to Talon White. Oh, and he's going to, little stiff arm there. Gets to the outside, but can't quite turn up field.
Yeah, I saw a non-block there that could have happened, but
Probably could have opened some stuff up.
you could have.
Yeah.
You just a kick out on that, and you could have, like you said on that run, just plant your foot and get up north and south.
Yeah. And the Wildcats now, I think, are fully committed. Right now, I believe everybody in the game is a JV player or one of the younger guys. Aurora on the catch. He's had a couple.
Nice
and he's
break.
going to shake a tackle and get about 20 yards, enough for the first down.
Nice.
And kind of laid there for a second. Good hit there. He's had, I think 3 or 4 catches. One of them got called back for the holding there. But Aurora making his impact felt. Freshman doing a lot of good things for the Wildcats, both on special teams coverage and now on offense as a receiver. A lot of fun to watch him. Another bad snap. Lewis going to fall on it. And some of this, I think, almost has to do with the way that, if you watch the way Porter Lewis takes these snaps, he kind of claps and then drops. Like, it would probably behoove him to just, he's not a tall guy. Porter Lewis right now stands 5'9". That's generous. 5'9", not very big. He's going to have to stand tall in the pocket if he's going to, be the guy for the next couple of years. But these snaps where he's kind of coming in low, if it's a high snap, it's going right over his head. So maybe one of the adjustments that might need to be made.
Nice tackle by 58.
Is getting him a little more.
James Polson.
Upright. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying to say vertical.
Yeah.
Oh, has his guy Wyatt Story? I don't know if there was a miscommunication or if they just were running kind of maybe a route that they're not accustomed to. It's going to bring up 4th and about Montana for the Wildcats here. I think I would like to see them punt. Give Orofino the ball and, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I like that series of passes that they had, Shannon, where the quick rollout, break the contain, and just the short pass in the flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hand off to White. White gets gobbled up there right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So turnover on downs for the Wildcats.
Yeah, those kind of passes, Pete, put a lot of pressure on linebackers because they have to make a decision whether the quarterback's going to run or he's going to throw.
Tremendous.
So a lot of times out there on the edge, they'll get flat-footed trying to make a decision. And once that running back or tight end runs what we call an arrow route, like on a 45 or something like that, they're deadly. They're tough to stop. And if you have a guy on the outside that's running a vertical route, it just clears everything out underneath.
Looks like Blake Coburn, still the lone senior there, kind of anchoring the Wildcats secondary. I can't imagine we're going to see Orofino throw. I'd be surprised. Little misdirection here from the Maniacs. Looks like Randy Rodriguez in on the tackle after a pickup of about 7. 2nd and 3 for the Maniacs. Clock continues to run. We're just under 4.5 minutes here. Wildcats still on top, 52-0. Homecoming night here at Teeters Field at the halftime ceremony. If you guys didn't see it, Mr. Riley Coletti and Ms. Macy Jerome were announced as the Kellogg Wildcat homecoming king and queen. So much deserved to them. Macy Jerome is kind of a standout volleyball player for our Lady Wildcat volleyball team and has been a 4-year starter at the varsity level for our volleyball program. Obviously, Riley Coletti's impact has been all over this game. He's one of the, you don't want to call him hogs, but I don't know if he's big enough to call him that. Piglet.
Yeah,
We're not quite big enough to have hogs up front, but he plays hard. He does a lot of good stuff. This Wildcat front tonight was as good as we'd seen them all year. This Orofino team seems a little overmatched just by the Wildcat speed, really. And then the discipline. I think outside of that holding penalty, which, again, really kind of equated to the JV level, is Talon White is going to – oh, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. Randy Rodriguez is going to cover. And the Wildcats, I believe, have it unless Rodriguez couldn't come up with it. I think Randy got it, though.
No, I think he almost covered it, got rolled over, and then Lewis recovered it.
Came in to help.
Unless they called it.
I can't imagine, but I believe it's going to be Wildcat ball. I haven't seen a signal to say, but yep, Wildcats line it up.
That's interesting because it spun him around. It wasn't a fumble; it was a lateral.
Yeah, there was no signal that there was a change
Right,
of
Shannon?
position.
It was more. It was because he threw it backwards, so he didn't fumble it. He lateraled.
I think he was maybe anticipating a running back being out there or something like that to help him out, and nobody was there.
Getting a timeout here from the Maniacs. I don't know the Wildcats have used a timeout tonight. I mean, not that they've needed to, but timeout from the Maniacs. There was no signal that the possession had changed. I never saw an official, indicate one way or the other. So the Wildcat offense just kind of set up and went for it, and Orofino was trying to make some substitutions. And I don't know if we've had some injuries that have knocked some players out, but the Maniac bench, which at the beginning of the game I believe had 6 kids on it, is down to 3.
Yep.
I don't know if we've got some kids in the locker room or what the deal is, but
well, Josh, I'm sorry. I thought there were 4 on the sidelines because I mentioned it specifically when I was talking about my 8-man football team.
I thought we had 17 during warm-ups, though. I believe there was a 17 of them during warm-ups. Again, like I said, I'm a words guy, not a numbers guy, so I could be wrong.
Well, look,
no, there are.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There are, yes.
Okay, so they just joined the timeout. They were just, hanging out in timeout. So Wildcats taking over, ironically, with better field position than they gave up. Another high snap. And this is going to be, I'm going to have to believe this is going to be an emphasis in film on Monday, is that we got to get these snaps under control. And then at the same time, maybe examining the difference between what's coming out, because that's Jack Fields on the snap. He's a senior. Maybe he's not familiar. Maybe he doesn't traditionally play the center position. But if he does, then it might be something between him and Porter, but maybe a false start here, it looks like. But the way that Porter kind of, steps into his snap receive and steps in and crouches, it could just be a thing where it's like, hey, buddy, you just got to stand tall, stay upright, take the snap. He definitely is. He almost takes the snap like he's ready to attack. Very Jalen Hurts-esque, where he knows that if he takes the snap, he might have to run for his life, and he's ready to do it. Meanwhile, this clock is just kind of ticking, and maybe we're getting an offsides. Interesting here. Little offsides on the Maniacs. Going to move the Wildcats 5 yards up after that errant snap. Wildcats setting up in
This will be diamond.
this their little diamond wide receiver screen. I anticipate Wyatt Story probably going to be one of the guys catching a pass here. Oh, send Story in motion. Option play here, and they're going to option out to Story. Story's got lots of room to work. Going to break a tackle and get out of bounds. Doesn't matter now. Clock continues to run. I don't think it was enough. Couldn't see where there it is. Looks like they're going to get about 12 on the carry, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Wildcats probably will have to run one more play. Could probably kneel on this one, and right now at about 30 seconds. Looks like that's what they're going to do. So as long as the snap goes according to plan, Porter Lewis can kneel on this ball.
I like that little option play they ran there.
Yeah.
Lead
Well,
option, right?
Yeah, and when
Or was it actually a naked option?
Yeah, it was
right?
a naked option.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't have any blockers out there.
So
But-
for the Wildcats, they're going to improve to 1-4. Good showing here after 4 weeks. 4 weeks of steady improvement after getting shut out by Moscow, finally getting on the board against North Fremont, competing with Newport, and then giving St. Mary's a pretty good ball game last week to get the win here on homecoming. It's a big deal for these Wildcats. Super excited for them. Now they've got quite the challenge ahead of them. They're going to go on the road next Saturday. They're in Prairie, down in Cottonwood, where they will be taking on New Plymouth in kind of a neutral site game. New Plymouth, pretty solid 2A program this year. They've got some wins. Should be a good test. Wildcats will have the ability. I mean, they're going to have 5 days of practice. Yeah. That's the one benefit of playing a Saturday game, is that they'll have their film on Monday, and then they'll have their 3 days of good practice, and then they'll probably have a really nice light Friday where they get to do a walkthrough. I don't know if they're going to take their whole squad down. I don't know if the JV's playing or not. So they'll probably be in a position to go down and compete at the very least. This will be a big game for their max preps ranking, which is probably not in a very great position as it stands right now. But this win's got to help, right?
Yeah, this is a good night for Kellogg. It's a great night to get your first win.
Yeah.
Everybody got to play. Lots of people in the stands. I'll tell you what, that concession is awesome.
Yeah, the new one.
And yeah,
it's great.
And real bathrooms.
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, if we had to give an MVP of the game, you're gonna have to be Coleman Blaylock, right? 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns, and none of them easy. I mean, he turned some he caught a deep ball, but then he turned some short plays into huge plays, short passes into huge plays. So I'd have to give my Kellogg Wildcats Live MVP to Mr. Coleman Blaylock.
Story had a good game, too.
Story did have a good game. Reed Watcott had a really good half. He only got to play a half, and he showed out in that half. So,
Here's the deal, too. We mentioned the skill players, always.
yeah.
Sure.
But as I'm watching the O-line, over the season, I see improvement in their movement, but also in their coordination and some of the, double teams, cross blocks.
Absolutely.
So I'm
Combination
really,
blocks and stuff, double teaming
Yep.
on the defensive line and stuff, and then working up to your backers and stuff like that. So
During the game, I did get a text message from our friends down in Coral Gables, Florida, who were tuning in to watch the Wildcats. Ripley Luna and his brother Colby, representing the University of Miami, giving their purple and gold brethren some shout-outs. So love having you guys watch. Thank you so much. Obviously, it's hard to not talk about what you guys have done for this program, so thanks for continuing to watch.
Well, we talk about them every week.
We can't not. It's hard to, it's hard to not. But, hey, Wildcats get the win, 52-0. They go on the road next week, neutral site game against New Plymouth. Then I think they're on the road again against Bonners Ferry. So a couple tough games coming up, big, important games, but I think after what we saw tonight, very winnable games. So for Pete Miller, Buckco, Simon Miller, Shannon Pooler, I am Josh McDonald. Thank you guys so much for spending your evening with us.
Thank you for watching.
Happy homecoming, Wildcats, and thank you so much for watching Wildcats Live.